All right, so we just ended our closed session agenda items, and we are out here to recognize your students this evening. So in order to do that, I need to open us up to our open session. So do I have a motion to reconvene the regular meeting?
I'll make a motion.
Okay.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Hayes. Who was the second? All right. Second by Ms. O'Halloran. Roll call.
O'Halloran? Yes. Strike? Yes. Hayes? Yes. Garrison? Yes. Johnson? Lopez-Caniva? Yes. Shaw?
Yes. All right, regular session reconvened at 7:16. Can everyone please rise for the pledge? The flag is up. Oh, right here. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And now I will turn it over to Dr. McBride.
Okay, all right. Thanks so much. Hey, thank you very much for your patience. We really appreciate you. And what I always say at these events is one of the things I've seen throughout my career in an extremely competitive state like Illinois, sometimes when you're at these large public high schools and you just have success year after year, and you're going to see individuals who've just had success year after year, when you reach those elite levels, and believe me, they are elite levels, you just kind of go on to the next thing. And it's so important, I believe, as a community, just to stop for a moment. And part of what we're doing today is we're writing into the history of this district the accomplishments of these young people and the people who have mentored and coached them and their parents. And I always say thanks not spoken is no thanks at all. Is that okay with you? Is that okay with you if we acknowledge these students publicly? And each one of them, I think, I admire quite a bit, because this particular evening, all of them have skills I could only dream of having. We're going to honor, someone for an outstanding accomplishment in music. That's incredible. Nobody should allow me to do anything musically other than listen to it. I had really the proud distinction in 2003. I was a brand new principal, and I was on an advisory panel, and the question on the advisory panel for IHSA is cheerleading a sport?
Yes.
And the answer is cheerleading a sport?
Yes. Absolutely.
Is cheerleading a sport?
Yes.
Thank you. Let's hit like cheerleaders, okay? And I got involved in this thing, and I barely ever missed a cheer state performance. The past 2 years I've missed because we belong to an organization that I have to represent us as a district. I feel like I can score it almost. But it really made me proud to support cheer all these years, because if you don't think poise and strength and teamwork isn't a sport, then I don't know what a sport is. And then bowling, amazing. It's a skill I don't have. If you've never been to one of the state bowling tournaments, it's incredibly intense. It takes the same kind of poise and determination, grit, and practice that our cheerleaders have, but it seems to last forever, for 2 days. It's incredible. You guys never stop. You just keep bowling. It's unbelievable. So important to be here tonight and just congratulate our students, congratulate you and the coaches and people that have mentored. And we appreciate you just taking some time to come out and be part of our history and say something we don't say to our young people enough. We are proud of you. And what an important thing to say to the people that are coming up in our society and are going to do amazing things, because we know they've already done pretty amazing things. So I'm going to turn it over to the people who are going to read the names. We'll vote for the resolutions at the end. You'll see me and Dr. Shaw, our board president. We're going to be here just for the honor of shaking your hand. Mr. Lester, you look like you're first.
Thank you and good evening, everyone. Resolution recognizing the accomplishments of Soren Moen. Whereas LTHS senior student Soren Moe participated in the Illinois High School Theater Festival, auditioning with elite students from all over the state, auditioning to participate in the all-state production Newsies on January 9th and 10th, 2026 at Illinois State University in Bloomington Normal. And whereas Soren Moen was selected to perform as Snyder the Spider in the cast of this year's all-state production Newsies. And whereas Soren Moen has brought honor and distinction to himself, his family, school, and community. And now therefore be resolved by the Board of Education of Lockport Township High School, District 205, Will County, Illinois, on this 23rd day of February 2026. Congratulations.
Okay, it's my honor now to honor our student athletes. So if I could have our boys bowling team come on up. So this resolution is recognizing the accomplishments of the Lockport Township High School boys bowling team. So as I announce their names, they are just going to wave to the crowd. Riley Ambrosini, Nathan Cantrell, Evan Sherrist, Aaron Crucial, Gavin Gayhart, Nathan Gillick, Austin Lacossi, and Mason Strassel. Whereas Lockport Township High School boys bowling competed in the state finals on January 31st, 2026 in Fairview Heights, Illinois, and placed second in the all-state competition. Whereas coaches Ryan McDaniel, Ken Schaefer, and Alan Bean have aided and guided the team in their success as Lockport Township High School District 205 athletes. Now for be it resolved by the Board of Education of Lockport Township High School on this day, February 23rd, that this resolution is passed. Congratulations to our boys bowling team. And these boys actually, like Dr. McBride said, they don't stop. So they are actually going to be departing and heading back to the lanes to bowl a few frames. So congratulations to our boys bowling team.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Happy with that.
Yes, take a picture.
Trying to get you guys bowling.
Dr. McBride,
Are you sure you want to sit in front of the podium? Sure. You're welcome. Thanks, guys.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Congratulations to our second place state finalist boys bowling team. All right, we are very excited to have our cheerleading team come on up.
It's so hard, super challenging, you know. You guys are awesome, incredible. Congratulations. You sometimes scare me. Okay. Hey, congratulations. Thanks for all of your hard work. Look at that, right? Congratulations. You guys are super happy. Nicely done. Well done. Congratulations. Of course. I'm so proud of you guys. I'm amazed. Congratulations. Cheers. Rock me on the down.
So this resolution is recognizing the accomplishments of the Lockport Township High School cheer team. As I say your name, please give everyone a little wave. Lola Alex, Genesis Arnando, Emma Baganite, Kennedy Mansfield, Keegan Brown, Emma Brutus, Leah Brutus, Maggie Calabrese, Morgan Eber, Carly Fiorillo, Sophia Frisha, Caleb Greenhill, Jacob Hanos, Sophia Hutera, Sophia Genosia, Karina Juarez, Peyton Judd, Gianna Lavati, George Lyerlo, Nicole Madeira, Mia Manzo, Adeline Mahalik, Mackenzie Morehouse, Mia Pasco, Jade Penskoffer, Gabriella Skiba, and Emma Smith. Whereas Lockport Township High School cheerleading team claimed the title of second place in the large division at the IHSA state competition for competitive cheer. And whereas the Lockport Township High School cheerleading team competed in Bloomington, Illinois on February 7, 2026. And whereas coaches Jenny Mercado, Alex Mercado, Danielle Calabrese, Jim Calabrese, Alyssa Scott, Jules Scarcelli, and Haley Hoffman have aided and guided the members of the Lockport Township High School cheer team in their success as Lockport Township High School athletes. Now therefore be it resolved by the Board of Education of Lockport Township High School, Bull County, Illinois, that the athletes are hereby recognized for their outstanding achievements and dedication to their school and their community. And this resolution will be passed by the Board of Education on the 23rd day of February 2026. Congratulations to our cheer team. And I know that this cheer team has a lot of seniors on it, and the last 4 years you should be very proud of all of your accomplishments, as you can see by the many medals that are being worn here tonight. Congratulations. One more round of applause for our cheer team. Rows, and you guys can kind of assemble and squeeze in so your parents can get a great picture. They all have it. Every team has a
Okay, Georgia. That's great. Like, I just heard my house. This is my trap.
Okay, the last thing we have to do this evening is to accept the resolutions, but before I do that, first off, I love how you guys said take a picture and you actually did. That was so wonderful. Okay, so if I could get the cheerleaders' attention in the back really quick. I know our bowling team already left, and Soren had to head out, but just really quickly, I want to just recognize another group that's in the room, and that's your parents. So they have driven you to practice, they got you involved in the sport, they take the pictures, they wear the glitter, and they support you at all these competitions. So if you guys could give your parents a round of applause. So thank you to all of you for allowing them to, for entrusting the experts in the room to, train and coach your children. So that is an honor for us. So that being said, do I have a motion to accept the resolutions as presented? Okay, Ms. Lopez Caneva. And a second? Okay, Ms. Hayes. Roll call.
Lopez Caniva?
Yes.
Hayes?
Yes.
O'Halloran?
Yes.
Johnson? Garrison?
Yes.
Strike?
Yes.
Shaw?
Yes. Okay, we are going to reconvene in the Porter Room. You may join us if you want. If not, you can stay out here, take more pictures, and head out. So thank you for coming this evening.
Yeah, congrats everybody. Good job. Good job, you guys.
I have something to share.
Okay.
My youngest has been doing after-school driving through LTHS, and I have to say that I just have a huge shout out to that entire team of staff. The work that they do with the kids is completely incredible. And my daughter has enjoyed every minute with the teacher, multiple teachers, but it's been this wonderful experience. And I can't believe how good they taught her how to park, because I could not do it. So we can officially park now in the Walmart parking lot. Thank you so much.
It's the only thing we teach. It's a matter of life and death.
Oh my gosh. But it's very impressive what they've done.
All right. Thank you.
All right, I can go next. I just wanted, my board salute is for the Illinois State Board of Education of those who excel award winners for the 2016. And just want to give a shout out to Trevana Green, Ann Lee, Kayla Marbeck, Kathleen Murphy, Josh Oster, Heather Rickinson, Laura Williams, our Jeanette Castillo here, and Jean Garcera, and our own superintendent, Dr. Robert McBride. So I wanted to say congratulations, and it's a big board salute. Very honored.
Very nice.
Congrats.
I guess I can go next. I attended it's been a little while now because it was January 30th, but the robotics tournament.
Oh, nice.
Which I had never been to, and was very interesting. At first, I kind of hung out in the wrong spot for a little while, and then I realized where the actual action was. But it was very interesting. I honestly, if no one's ever been, very, very interesting. Some very impressive pre-battle programming was done by a couple of teams that was very, very impressive. You know, they got like 37 points before the thing had even started. So pretty interesting. So my salute is just the robotics team it looks like everyone's having a really good time. So from coaches to kids to parents. So glad to see it.
Well, I wanted you to know what Ann said. 'Cause I thought that was-
Your mic is not on.
Oh. Thank you. I wanted to know what Ann said, because I thought that was impressive that we had so many from our school to get that honor, so.
You guys have something? No?
You're up.
I'm gonna try.
Well, I just want to give a shout out to our athletic department. I've been to a number of athletic events. They always just do a wonderful job, and just the manpower that goes into putting on an event just always needs to be recognized, because it takes everybody. It takes teachers, it takes ESP staff, it takes athletic directors, coaches, everything. And our athletes are just performing as we saw today, at a top-notch level. So just super appreciative of them. So, any other board salutes?
I was able to pop in for a little while for Orchesis and just say it's like my second year. I really enjoyed it, and it's always a pleasure to see, first of all, students who can get on stage, and then two, and dance, which neither can I do. And so it was just a lot of fun. You can tell the kids were having a really great time, and the crowd always gets into it, and so I just really enjoyed it, and it's a lot of fun times for the kids to get involved.
Yes, good. Okay. All right, student board report.
Okay, so to highlight this past month, so for the Superintendent's Advisory Council, we actually had a guest star come in, lead it for us, Dr. Christopher, and we began discussion talking about what's the brand promise or experience of Lockport Township High School. So for example, like for Nike, what's their brand promise? Like good quality clothes. And then the experiences is like you feel good in the clothes you work out in. And then for Lockport, we talked as students in the council about like, what does Lockport say our promise is? And then what's the experience? Like we promise an education, you know, we promise like open activities for people. And then the experiences is like, a lot of students said like it's what you make out of it, you know, like how many events you go to, your friends, you know, like how do you spend your time, and like going to sports, getting involved and all that stuff. And students came to a consensus that like at Lockport we do have a lot of opportunities for everyone, and I think that was like a big part of what we highlighted.
One of the next things we want to talk about is the teen mental health programs that are happening here. This Wednesday, 30 students at each grade level are going to start training on teen mental health first aid. And we're really excited to see that happen.
And then going along with that, this past month, the NHS, we had our Parents' Day Out. So that's like a nice event for like parents to, you know, get some things done. And this year, it was on the Super Bowl. So like parents could prepare for a party that they might have or clean the house if people are coming over. And like it was just fun like being with like the kids and everything. Playing basketball, playing games, you know, it was a good experience. And I appreciate, they kind of teach you something, like they teach you how to have fun like a kid again.
And then the last thing we want to talk about is February is Black History Month. And we've been having a lot of fun on the announcements, learning about Black history and doing Black history trivia. And I think that's concluding our report today.
Oh, and also, students, I just know, you know, I can feel the excitement. Students are very happy about this upcoming 4-day weekend.
The upcoming what?
4-day weekend.
Good to know.
Any questions?
No. All right. There's no AFT report this evening. IASB report. Ms. Johnson, is there anything?
I saw there's some material in the binder. Read it, and it looks like it's actually it's a recap of the
delegate assembly?
The triple I that we just went to. It shows you who was voted for president and vice president, and then some other facts, the resolutions that were adopted during that time frame. So that way you could see what took place.
Okay.
I'm happy that they sent one to everybody.
And I know Kathy has registered a number of people for the Three Rivers.
There's 4 of us registered.
The date for some reason is escaping me. But
April 7th.
got it. That's coming up, so that's always you know, an important thing. So thanks for those of you registered for that.
And there's still time to register, so if you're interested in going, let Kathy know. All right, foundation report.
So the only thing I want to say again is that there are scholarships available for all students. I know it somehow seems like everyone should know, but they don't. So I have seen scholarship applications coming through little bits at a time. I can tell when the Student Services does a coffee or talks about scholarships, because all of a sudden we get like a lot. So encourage anyone that's watching, any student is encouraged to apply. It's not, some of them are vocational, some of them are trades, some of them are specifically for 2 years, some of them are for 4 year, some of them are GPA, a lot of them are not GPA. So, you know, there's a lot of different things for, I feel like we've finally got something for everyone. So I hope that students take full advantage. And this year, I think just the foundation will be part of like $128,000 to give away. So it's worth trying, right? And that doesn't include the members of the community that also come alongside us with about another $100,000. So it's worth doing. Prom dresses we still have. If anyone knows anyone that would like a prom dress, in about 2 weeks we do send them on their way because there's a large event in Lamont. We want to make sure that those are used by someone that would enjoy them. But other than that, and the golf outing's coming up June 9th. So mark your calendar. It's a good time. Thanks.
Legislative report.
Legislative report. So much going on. I'll lead with something I didn't put in my report. My Governor J.B. Pritzker last Friday was at my alma mater where I went to high school, Oak Park and River Forest High School, home of the Huskies, and stumping for his cell phone bill, which is a bell-to-bell absolute ban of cell phones. Very interesting. Form your own opinions. there's great concern. Number of superintendents are concerned, at least at the high school level, because how do we secure those? Where do they go? Students would probably have to use their lockers again. This cell phone ban, we feel like we've done a really good job this year tethering down cell phones. The porter pockets have been a big hit. Students are using them. We've had some issues, but I wouldn't say many issues. But under that bill, the governor's bill, the absolute ban, porter pockets would not be acceptable. It would literally be you cannot have a cell phone on your person from first period to the end of the day. And there's just concerns that people are having with that and the practicalities, especially in large institutes like large public high schools. So everything from where are they stored to safety if you had an emergency. Some of our emergency plans are built on students having cell phones and being able to, for example, contact their parents or reunify. So the state legislature was out last week. They were not in session, and in that gap, I'm lucky enough to be invited by Senator Meg Laughlin-Capel. She is the state senator who chairs the education committee. She invites a number of superintendents. We kind of go in. Her associated representatives are there as well. And just kind of giving you an idea of what's on the minds of superintendents with legislation. We're concerned right now, what we're starting to see is in the relationship with the federal government and funding from the federal government. There are about 16 states right now that are in an arm wrestle with the dismantling of the Department of Ed and funding, and that's starting to have an impact. We're seeing less reimbursement for transportation. We're seeing less reimbursement for what are called mandated categoricals. Give you an example. One mandated categorical is our responsibility to educate students who we cannot provide services for in our district. Dr. Huntington and her staff find appropriate placements for those students at other institutions. We pay that tuition, oftentimes reimbursed by the state, but that's being prorated now. So there's a real concern about the financial squeeze that could create. Teacher vacancy grant, it seems to be off the table in a time that was a grant to encourage the recruiting and hiring of teachers in a time when we're having a teacher shortage. It's a very interesting House bill that's pending that would allow 10-month school employees to pick up unemployment. And we do pay for part of that unemployment. That is historically not been the case. Even though 10-month employees are often paid through the summer, their benefits extend through the summer, but their services is only 10 months. In those 2 months, this was kind of a COVID throwback. So we're keeping an eye on that. We are, so a number of people can attest, we are just being hounded by Freedom of Information Act. And there are 4 bills that are seeking to revise Freedom of Information Act. A lot of conversation about the ISBE multiple language learner audit. We had our audit last year. There are some superintendent concerns about that process and some of the practicality of the work that we do with students. We're also very concerned that some of the state measures on the access test seem to keep multiple language learners in ELL programs almost forever. They can't test out no matter what their proficiency is. And then also still continued conversation about the 2-year world language mandate and what impact that could have. That's one of the drivers for our move to an 8-period day. Any questions? Thanks.
There is no public comment follow-up for this meeting.
Nope.
All right, public comments. There are none. Communication, there is none. Freedom of Information requests, we have 7. Those are on the docket for your leisurely reading. Any questions about those? Okay. Okay, on to approval items. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes from the January 26, 2026 board meeting?
I'll make the motion.
All right, motion by Ms. Hayes.
I'll second.
Second by Ms. O'Halloran. Roll call.
Johnson,
Yes.
O'Halloran,
Yes.
Lopez Caniva,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Hayes,
Yes.
Garrison,
Yes.
Shaw.
Yes. Do I have a motion to approve the closed session minutes from the January 26, 2026 board meeting?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Motion by Ann Lopez Caniva, second by Wendy Straight. Roll call.
Garrison,
Yes.
Lopez Caniva,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
O'Halloran,
I'm going to abstain. I wasn't there for all of it. I'm going to abstain.
Hayes,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Shaw.
Yes. Treasurer's report.
Oh, did we get board member expenses?
Ooh. Oh, correct. All right. Sorry. There's a line in here. Okay. Do I have a motion to approve the February 2026 board expenses?
I'll make that motion. I'll second.
All right. Motion by Ms. Lopez Caniva, second by Ms. O'Halloran. Roll call.
Hayes,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Garrison,
Yes.
Lopez Caniva,
Yes.
O'Halloran,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Shaw.
Yes. All right, now on to the treasurer's report. Do I have a motion to accept the January 2026 treasurer's report?
I'll move.
Okay, motion by Ms. Johnson.
Second.
Who's second? All right. Ms. Garrettson?
Good evening, board. There's just, excuse me, there's just a couple of things I'd like to point out. I'd like to point out the statement of position. So if Dr. McBride could navigate to our financial reports for me, please. Thank you. You know, it's one of the things I track regularly, as that's a board goal, right? Our month's cash on hand. We are in the time frame of where we're going to continue to deplete before we collect taxes again in May. So you'll see the trend down of our overall month's cash on hand. We're at 10, and then transportation and operations and maintenance are lower than that. If the board remembers, we made an adjustment to the allocation of the tax levy, and we will need to probably make some interfund transfers. I will have to bring those to the board down the road here so that we don't. So I'm monitoring those two funds very closely, so that I know the timing of when I need to bring that resolution for transfer approval to cover. Also, you'll see the revenue and expenditure, probably expenditures more pertinent, you know, monitoring where we are for expenditures and where we might need to do amendments. You'll see, you know, right now we're not over budget in any of the line items that are significant, with the exception of the Fund 90, which is we knew where we were tracking on the expenditures for that. But you will see in April the tentative suggestions for amending this year's budget. So as we work on, this is the time of the year where we're starting to work on next year, right? As well as continuing to wrap up this year. So I can't, even though we're starting to plan for next year's budget, I'm still closely monitoring this year's budget to make adjustments as well. Are there any questions on the treasurer's report? The only other page that you would see on the cash flow report, you can also see the timing. It's a really good illustration on the cash flow to kind of show where the revenue is collected versus where when. It's really more when the expenditures are spent. So
I have a question.
Yeah.
I know we voted to use certain fund balances to pay some bills. How's that going?
So are you talking about the capital projects?
Yeah.
We're still working on that conversation. I believe that there's an agenda item later that will talk a little more about that. So we're still trying to figure out which plan the board, which items that the board wants us to spend that on. So we actually haven't spent any recent fund balance on projects because we've been spending the 15 million life safety bonds. That's the project we've been working on currently. So it's still to be planned. But the projects we've been focusing on are the 2-year life safety right now, to be able to spend the 15 million life safety bonds within the time frame that we need to spend them.
In our most recent use of fund balance has been 2024.
Right.
All of the remediation of 33 ceilings that were like the one in room 310 that collapsed, the demolition, the rebuilding, all of that was spent with fund balances. In the past 3 years, when the board has abated done a debt service of abatement of roughly about $2 million each of those years, that has been fund balances as well that has covered those costs. So that's kind of our most current up to date. And like Stephanie said, for the work that we did in 2025 and upcoming, we've been right now using the $15 million loan bonds that we took out in
last year.
Gosh, it seems much longer ago than that.
2025.
I'm sorry, in 2025. And that kind of is a precursor, Luann, to something you'll see a little bit later when we talk about the facility master plan of always kind of using a mixed method of our operating costs, our fund balances, and then well-managed debt to all simultaneously. So.
Right. That's part of what that plan discussion is all about, the funding as well. The last thing last couple things, I guess, in the treasurer's report is, while we're not actively collecting real estate taxes or property taxes, you'll still see the report in here. It's just going to show current taxes received as 0 until we switch in May to looking at the 2025 tax levy collections. And then finally, in the bottom of the treasurer's report, I like to give the board an idea of what's coming up. So we are starting, again, planning for next year. So we put out, we issued the bus bid to collect bids for purchasing buses and trading in buses for next year. So that hopefully we will have, we have the bid opening in time to be able to bring you the recommendation for the March board meeting. That will include retiring 6 buses, but buying 7. The reason for that is some of the new developments require transportation to create another route. It's, we just keep moving kids around on different routes right now, and so we're expecting to have to, especially in the Crest Hill area, add another route to make sure that we can get the kids. So that'll bring us to 52 buses instead of 51. And then also our current contract with Quest Food Management Services is up this year, so there'll be a proposal to renew that contract coming up next month as well, in addition to the tentative budget and amended budget. Any questions on any of the treasurer's report items?
Okay. I have a first and a second. Roll call.
Stride,
Yes.
Garrison,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yeah.
Hayes,
Yes.
Lopez Caniva,
Yes.
O'Halloran,
Yes.
Shaw.
Yes. Okay, board president's report. So I was able to attend the DMG Summit with Dr. McBride, Dr. Huntington, Dr. Christopero, and Ms. Croy. And just a summary of 2 of the sessions. I'm glad the students were able to meet and talk about the brand promise versus, what was it, brand promise? I can't read that far.
Brand experience.
Brand experience, thank you. So just a summary of that presentation and what that meant. I'm glad to hear that the students feel that there's plenty of opportunities here for students to participate in, and it's kind of their choice to experience that. Is that kind of the conclusion you came to?
Yeah, it's like what you put in is what you get out. That's what I feel. And that's what we kind of talked about too as a group.
Okay. And then the other session that I attended with, I feel like Dr. McBride and I kind of navigated everywhere together, was navigating the competitive educational landscape and just, leveraging productive assessments for academic growth and just kind of what targeted assessment practice looks like in the classroom. And they had a product that they were looking at, promoting while there. But I think that it's something that, the district can look into and maybe do on their own. I don't think you necessarily needed DMG to do what they were doing. So it was just all good information. And then it's a really inspiring conference to go to and just made me feel really good about the work that we're doing in the district in our partnership with District Management Group.
So what was the name of it? You gave us letters.
I'm sorry?
You gave us letters, acronym. What is it you say?
What is the name of
DMG
it?
District Management Group. So that remember Luann, when Dr. McBride came on and you and I had to be interviewed about they were doing some work and just like assessing the different interventions that they were providing students. So it's that organization that had this summit.
Its history is it's actually out, even though the annual summit's in New York City, it's out of the Harvard Business School. And really its idea is to take business models and see if they have application to the way that schools are run as a business in every aspect: public relations, branding, experience, finances, accountability. District Management Group is the organization that we partnered with last year to do our academic return on investment project. We usually about once every 2 years we'll do a project with them. And that was a seminal project that helped us quite a bit. We also, Veronica and I are waiting, I'm waiting for our book, which we have not received, but we went early, and there was a special board president and superintendent session on productive disagreement. Not between us, but just fostering that. How do you foster productive disagreement in the community? And unfortunately, I had to role play, and I had to be the disagreeable person.
It was kind of funny.
It was funny because I was terrible at it. I think I was terrible at it. Maybe I wasn't. I don't know. But it was a really, really good session about what you should keep in mind when you're disagreeing, you know, and you just have different positions. That's okay.
And the other piece we got to participate in was the case study. We talked about Starbucks and just kind of brand promise versus, what's received by folks. And they cold call people in a gigantic room. I don't know how many people were there, but you're sitting there like, please don't call on me, because they just walk around, point at you, and you have to give an answer. So that was just a good experience. So I don't think any of us got called on this time. We did last time.
We did not.
Dr. Christofero did.
Yeah,
She
Dr.
sat right in
Christofero
front.
always sits right in front. Always sits right in front.
So that was fun. The other thing I just want to touch on, I know we mentioned this already, but Dr. McBride is going to be evaluated. So that information is going to be coming out from Kathy tomorrow to you. So again, don't go home and do it tonight. All right. Superintendent report.
Okay, just before we get into some much larger things, which in general my lesson plan was to just leave some space to discuss some of the approvals that are in the board agenda a little bit later on. As I mentioned to the board earlier, this is just a season. Usually January to June moves so quickly because we have deadlines to hit to prepare for next year. We have to be ready for learners to come to school next year, while at the same time we are running a school district right now. As was mentioned, just want to congratulate, theater, bowling, cheer, incredible. It just takes all of those people, coaches, mentors, parents, yourself, allowing those activities and sports to occur that really leads to that success. Again, also, Mrs. Kaniva, all the ISBE, those who excel, want to thank my colleagues behind us. We spied up that program. That's an annual program, and really, I couldn't have done it without the administrators behind me, because we said, you know what, we have some really amazing people that work in our district. Let's nominate them. The nomination, if you're nominated, then you complete an application and then the award. It's a challenging date for us because April 18th is prom. It's also our Japanese guests are here, and I am required to be in the city of Boston for an event that evening. So lots going on. Couple of other things, just Orchesis. I would really compliment Orchesis. I've seen dance now for almost 40 years, and one of the things I would really compliment that stands out about us is, sometimes you see one style of dance, you see studio dancers only, but we really do a great job of having every shape, size, person you can imagine on that stage. And what's really amazing, you'll see a very talented, many years in studio dancer dancing right next to someone who has clearly just tried Orchesis this year. That's amazing diversity. We have a lot of ethnic diversity. One of my favorite things is we get to see one of the sponsors of Orchesis, Michelle Cannon. She always dances. It was nice to see her show her dance ability, dancing with students. Pretty incredible. Was grateful to have a chance to go to AASA and represent our district last week in Nashville. Dr. Johnson went and we presented on the work that we do with data, particularly with our school counselors and our department chairs, getting student performance data at the fingertips of folks. It's nice to be out there. We also represented our district. We realized when we got down there that we were the only school district at the Japanese consulate on Friday night celebrating the emperor's birthday. And in Japanese culture, really the emperor's birthday is a time to be grateful, to be thankful, prosperity of the nation, and the emperor's birthday also celebrates connections abroad, and obviously the United States, very important connection abroad. So it was nice to get a shout out as a district that's doing quite a bit with Japanese language and culture. Enjoyed representing us there. Last week, Wayfinder Week, kudos to Robert Beach here at East Campus. I mentioned that in your update. If you ever want to participate in a Wayfinder Week, or you just want to go to classes with me, just let me know and let's go. We'll do it. But it's just so pleasurable getting into teachers' classrooms and seeing all of the things that they're doing. While I was at the Japanese consulate, we had a great dinner and event. I believe Dr. Green was there for Black History Month. Our Black Student Union was doing that. Lockport Township District 205 Foundation had a lovely event last Tuesday. Incredible. These things that are going on, bringing our community together. And just to remind board members, I know a few of you are planning on attending, but right here in the Porter Room on Wednesday at 8 a.m. to 9:15, we have a renewal of our realtor breakfast, talking to realtors about the value that our district adds to the community. 29 realtors have signed up to come, so love to see you. A few things, kind of getting to my formal report. I just want to make space for 3 approval items and any discussion that board members have, any of us that can answer final questions, and a first reading of something we're going to ask you to approve in March. First, maybe social workers. We're asking you to approve 4 additional social workers. Dr. Huntington and her social workers, I think, did a very clear job last month, highlighting the need, primarily because of, and it's in your folder, primarily because of caseloads. Our caseloads are double. We just don't have, with 900 students on each social worker's caseload, the ability to handle the needs of students with disabilities, crises, and be preventative in terms of the social emotional health or programmatic that our students need. Questions? Any finishing thoughts? Yeah, Ms. Johnson.
One of the student board members had mentioned that there are going to be, I think, at least 30 students being trained for mental health.
Yeah, youth mental health first aid, and that comes from Will County.
Mental health first aid is what they're going to be trained on. Okay, I know that program.
And we're also going to have some adults. That's a whole different thing. But Dr. Cristofero is working. Will County had a grant, a very large grant, the Will County Board, and it selected the organization Kids Matter that we've partnered with to steward that grant. Luckily, because of our partnership, Kids Matter reached out to us. So there's many arms of this grant, training students in youth mental health, training adults in youth mental health first aid, students attending Health 100 at JJC, visiting some of the health professions. So it's a broad effort to get teachers and students involved in social emotional needs. Graduation requirements. Our graduation requirements, again, Dr. Huntington brought that last month, and really that is bringing us in alignment with what an 8-period day offers students, but also bringing us in alignment with what you would see most area high schools, and bringing us in alignment with really a strategic academic goal. I think embedded in here in these requirements is more nonfiction reading for students. The nonfiction reading is the reading that students are most unfamiliar with. It's also the area where students struggle the most with their reading. Technical reading, scientific reading, nonfiction memoir, nonfiction informational text. Any questions we can answer? Just want to have some space to check off.
I just wanted to ask a question about reading. I know that for some students, you know, reading is their passion. So when we talk about what they're going to be required, is there any testing out of anything extra reading, or no? Because it's fallen into social studies.
It really falls into their coursework, so there isn't a sort of testing out of the course other than, you know, if you're thinking, Tammy, you know, students enter in different levels. There's a regular level, honors, advanced placement, dual credit. But really, I think the goal is 9th grade through 12th grade having a rich environment of text.
Yeah.
And what I always say is complex text. An illustration I used to do when I was a high school principal is I would take a middle school textbook and set it next to a high school textbook, and you immediately realize the leap that's made in terms of, you know, the complexity of the information that students encounter just goes up as they go 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th grade, 12th grade, and getting students ready to interact with that kind of text. It's also honoring the fact that reading a novel is not like reading a technical manual, is not like reading economics or reading a graph or a quadratic equation. You know, we have to read those differently. So
Yeah, no, I appreciate that.
I appreciate the question.
It was actually someone had reached out to me and asked me about the 8th period day, and you know, could someone test out? And I said, I don't really have that in my head to be able to explain it right now. So I just definitely just want to out on the record.
No,
so
it's a
people
great
understand
question, and it's really, I think, about embedding good reading practices in every single class you're in.
Yeah, for sure.
Because sometimes what we do as high school teachers, we just assume because students can read,
Right.
that if we put a new technical text in front of them, that they can read that too. It's about, you know, taking the expertise we have and making sure they can apply the same strategies that we as adult readers do to all the different types of texts we read.
Makes sense. Thanks.
Dr. McBride, just one clarification. So these requirements would be affecting which incoming class?
Class of 2030, the new freshmen. So they would arrive and they would follow these as they move forward. That's just to make sure that no future sophomore, junior, or senior gets caught. Very typical way of starting. And then finally, very appreciative to all the work we've done, just a ton of work, really 3 years of worth of work in total, you know, very intense in the past year, especially post-referendum in 2024. Very intense with you, many, many meetings. Thank you to the board members who met last week, who felt like they wanted to sit with more time. You know, we have a variety of materials that are in your packet and some attachments. I think probably you've seen a number of these documents. There's a document that is something Mr. Slager did, looks like this. It really breaks down the approach that we're taking, sort of a business plan to address how do you finance, what are the strategies you're going to use to finance large-scale facilities work. It's a mixed method, using some income, using some loans, using some fund balances, using some debt. You also have attachment with the decision-making guide. We have copies of that. I know no one can read that. I've got printed copies of it and want to make a mention of, you know, what that decision-making guide is. And I thought we attached, but I have missed it here. You've got slides, 3 slides that were from, and I apologize, I thought we attached this and I missed it, but a financial report of slides from PMA Financial. It's in your in your folder that describes sort of the tax burden and what you know, debt structures would look like. And what I would say about all of these is that these are plans, roadmaps, intentions. They're not the hard work that would come of approving actual projects in 2027. Every single project on the decision-making guide would have to be bid out, would have to come before the board, would would have to fall under that scrutiny and would have to be individually voted on. Similarly, bonds, whether if you look at this sheet, whether you issued 2 issuances, we wanted to give you kind of just a rough sense of what that could look like, 2026, 2029, or if you issued bonds 3 times, 2026, 2027, 2029, that all has to be decided on, voted on, and there's usually a 3-month process to issue debt. A very lengthy process that goes from a credit check on the district all the way to an authorization, all the way to a final vote. But what we wanted to do is give you a sense of the decision-making guide. What would it cost the average taxpayer? And we use an average off of Zillow, which is approximately $356,000 is the average home in our 65 square mile district. And the new tax burden, 2026, 2027, 2028, would be approximately in a range of $59, $58 if you issued 2 sets of bonds. If you issued 3, it would be a little bit higher. It would go up to, but start at 59, go up to 85. All of that still has to be decided of what's most advantageous. Typically, issuing debt would not occur until we're much closer to the projects themselves. So the debt is issued up against real projects, real costs, real bids, because life safety bonds especially have to be used within 3 years. And some of those bonds, all of those bond issuances, the kind of projects have to be approved by the state as well. So there's some that we have not gotten approved yet. So let me just pause there and see if there's lingering questions.
I don't have any further questions, but just wanted to say very, very appreciative of you and your staff for taking the time that you did to walk us through and explain things and allow us to get into some detail about, especially the financing component. It was really helpful to have that extra time and understand how that will all work. And I think the reassurance is that there's always opportunity to go ahead and look at them at an annual basis, and especially before they go out for bid and all that type of thing. So that was really helpful for me. So thank you.
Yeah, I would just add that as big as the 10-year picture is, and it's a little daunting still, even though I've seen it at this point, 57 times. Just the idea that obviously everything runs on what can we do, what's important to do. I mean, if an emergency happens, obviously those things do come first. And, just knowing that, every time I've talked about it, every time I've asked questions, that has been, assured to me again and again that, this, again, a roadmap is one of those things, like if I got a map, I'm going there. So it's hard for me to use the roadmap analogy, but that, this is a plan because we do have facilities we have to take care of, but that, it is nice to see a number, even though these numbers are not really real because everything changes year to year. But, just for taxpayers to see and understand that, we can't just continue to be like, well, let's see what we need to do next. Well, let's just wait and see what, So I appreciate the 10-year plan, even though it was hard to swallow. Each time I look at it, I still like, oh gosh, that's a lot of stuff. But the idea, like Candace said, that we're gonna go through each item and we're gonna make sure that that's what needs to be done at this time, and how are we gonna fund it is gonna be discussed at each turn. I appreciate that as well.
And I'd like to echo those sentiments. I really appreciated the mini workshops where we were able to really dive in to the questions we had on each particular point. And I'm piggyback that with all the great work that Brian Ammer and his team did to provide such a thorough roadmap of what it should look like. And yes, it's a lot to swallow, like Tammy said, with the bulk of the numbers, but we also need to look at the future and not be in a position like we were with Central, to where the work was not done the way that it should have been, and we were in a bad situation. And I think looking at it this way, if we come upon something that we need to shift and bring up forward, we can, because we know that it's a prospective problem. So, thank you.
Yeah, and I appreciate that. And, a few people acknowledge Eric Sickbird and his staff, Neil Berglund, Neil Offerman from Berglund Construction. Get promotion into the family. Brian, Stephanie Croy, lots of people involved in this, PMA Financial. And I think the importance of approving a 10-year vision is exactly what you said, so you can begin doing the work and the work that you are doing. Really, this was born out of a couple directives from you, but also from the community and surveys we did. And the best survey you can do, which is a referendum. I mean, that's the best survey of your community you can do. 13,000 respondents. One, low taxpayer impact, minimize the taxpayer impact. One, people did say in survey after survey and in focus groups, please take care of those facilities. They recognized these things don't take care of themselves. And to your point, Mrs. O'Halloran, please, take care of them. And then, finally, be transparent about it. And then also, please, minimize, if you can, minimize the cost. In our surveys, people understand there is a cost, but if you have strategies to stretch that cost out, please do that. As we discussed in the mini workshop, a referendum, the community bears the cost right away. One of the interesting things about this structure of fund balance, operating budget, different types of debt is it enrolls future taxpayers all the way out till 2046 in facilities that they're going to enjoy. We might not even know who those taxpayers are in our community. They might move here in 10 years or 15 years, but they too will also be in the process of paying for these facilities, which seems to be fair. Some taxpayers are paying now. Others who will come later will have an obligation too. Everybody shares the obligation. Many hands make work light is really the theory here behind this plan. So, great. Two final things. Just want to do a first reading for you. We have two situations, two memos. I can certainly open the memos up. They're in your board folder. The first relates to our athletic trainers. We have been gradually moving away from faculty members who receive a stipend for athletic training to full-time educational support professionals who are fulfilling the role of athletic trainer. We've done that because we found that outsourcing that to different organizations that provide athletic trainers has become more and more unpredictable, more and more expensive. We've also found that our faculty members who are athletic trainers who receive the stipend to do it are dwindling. Really outstanding, incredible professional Joe Cunane is retiring. One of his colleagues, Nora Sheehan, is just not as able to give as much time as she previously did to athletic training. We want to, given the safety needs, we want to fill that space. So next month, we're going to be asking you to sort of switch out to approved positions, to kind of switch out the faculty positions for two additional educational support professionals. It's really a swap of one type of athletic trainer in one lane of compensation to a different type of athletic trainer in a different lane of compensation. We will eventually get to a place where all of our athletic trainers are not faculty, are not, by that I mean licensed staff, are not outsourced, but are educational support professionals that are part of our staff. Any questions about that? I wanted to provide it because sometimes, and Dr. Greenan did a great job of delineating for you what athletic trainers do. I remember one time we were approaching this and talking about this a number of years ago, and there was a perception that athletic trainers are just there, Friday night at a football game. Because that's when the public a lot of times sees an athletic trainer. But let me assure you, they come online every day at 1 o'clock, and oftentimes they're not leaving till 9:30. Just because of the demands of athletes at practices, safety, competitions, games. Okay. Then the other memo that I provided you is for our dean's assistants. Our dean's assistants are critical, the 16 of them, to providing safety and security. But one of the things I've worked with Dr. Green, and again, a very informative memo, we've had a lot of turnover with dean's assistants. And they're the only employee group that has no access to healthcare benefits. One, we believe that providing healthcare benefits, single coverage, can be an attractive retention and recruiting tactic. Also, we believe even if we get further down the line, we might have the Affordable Care Act implications that we might have to provide it. So next month, as part of our staffing for the following year, we'd ask you to approve that as well. And I just, wanted to put that out there, kind of a first reading. Any questions about that? Yeah, Ms.
I have
O'Halloran.
a quick question. Was there a reason that that particular pool of staff was not offered benefits previously?
Many of my colleagues can chime in. My perception is that there was a time we didn't offer bus drivers either. They weren't represented by an association that negotiated for that. Oftentimes those positions were seen as very transient. So if we enrolled you and you're only here 3 months, well, we just set up healthcare for you. Now we have employment costs. We're paying a premium, and you've left. What's happened over time is both our bus drivers and a good core of our dean's assistants have been very stable. But we still have with the dean's assistants an orbit of people rolling off. And we just think this could provide some stability in terms of recruiting. I also think it was maybe a different era of safety and security in schools when dean's assistants were created. Oftentimes dean's assistants in schools 15 years ago were really people who just ran passes, went to get a student out of a classroom, walked them down. They were not handling near the type of campus safety issues in parking lots, perimeters, bathrooms that they are now.
I think Ms. Croy has something to add.
Yeah, I was just going to say, Dr. McBride, I was going to add that bus drivers and these assistant positions were also kind of treated as a part-time type position previously.
Okay.
They wouldn't necessarily work every day, but they've grown to they do work every day.
So the role has shifted drastically.
Yes.
Over many, many years.
Right.
Right.
Mhm. Thank you.
There's no further questions. That's my report.
Information reports, curriculum report. Come on up.
But if you really ask me, I mean, I'm happy to answer any questions you might have about this, but I would just like to know everybody else. I don't know if you had time to watch this.
All right, today we're going to talk about something really important and exciting that's happening at Lockport Township High School. It's a brand new mental health initiative, all thanks to a partnership with an amazing organization called Kids Matter. So let's just start with the question that, honestly, I think every single one of us has probably faced at some point. It can be really tough to know what to do, right? And today, knowing how to be there for one another feels more crucial than ever. And this is why. This statistic is so tough to see, but it really highlights the urgency of the challenges that young people are facing. And it gets to the heart of why peer support is so incredibly important. A lot of the time, the very first person to notice a friend is struggling is, well, another friend. This whole initiative is about giving them the right tools for that exact moment. Now, to take on a challenge this big, the school isn't just starting from scratch. No, instead, it's building on a really successful and long-standing relationship with a key partner in the community. For more than 5 years now, Lockport has been working with Kids Matter. They've already done so much for our community, like helping bring the Resilient Youth program right into our PE classes, which focuses on things like student well-being and mindfulness. Their whole mission is really about empowering kids. And it's not just us who see the incredible value in what they do. Other school districts, like Naperville North, have seen their effectiveness firsthand, which just goes to show how impactful this kind of partnership can be. Okay, so building on that already strong foundation, things are about to get even better. Thanks to a super generous new grant from Kids Matter, we're launching a huge expansion of our mental health and even our career readiness programs right here at LTHS. This new funding opens up 3 amazing opportunities. First, students can actually earn college credit through Health 100, which is a great introduction to healthcare careers. Second, both students and staff can get trained and certified in mental health first aid. And third, there will be field trips to local hospitals so students can see what these jobs are like in the real world. All right, let's zoom in a little because the real heart of this new grant is a program called Mental Health First Aid. Honestly, the best way to think about it is like CPR, but for mental health. It's a proven program that gives you a clear, step-by-step action plan, so you know what to do to offer that critical first bit of support to someone who might be having a tough time. And what's really smart is that the training comes in 2 different versions. There's Teen MHFA, which is specifically for students, teaching them how to help their friends. And then there's Youth MHFA, which is for the adults in their world. So teachers, staff, parents, training them on how to be that trusted person a teen can go to for help. This really sums it up perfectly. The goal isn't to turn teens into counselors, not at all. It's about empowering them to be that compassionate first line of support, and crucially, to know exactly when and how to get a trusted adult involved. And if you look at the curriculum, you can see just how practical it is. This goes way beyond just awareness. It's about action. How do you actually start that conversation? What does support look like? It even covers self-care, which, let's be honest, is a critical piece of the puzzle for everybody. So that's the what. Now let's get into the how. What does this program actually look like in practice for our students and our staff? So to get certified as a mental health first aider, a student will go through 4 separate training sessions. These happen during the school day, but they're rotated, which is really smart, so students aren't always missing the same class. It's a clear path based on learning and hands-on practice. And I really want to emphasize this. We are not talking about a quick 30-minute assembly. To earn this certification, students have to complete over 6 hours of in-depth, interactive classroom training. That depth is exactly what makes this program so effective. Now here's the part that I think is the most brilliant, because it ensures this program can last. The grant is also funding the certification of our own LTHS staff members to become official teen and youth MHFA instructors. This is a total game changer. It means we're building a sustainable, long-term support system right from within our own school. We're going to have our own experts right here in the building, ready to train new groups of students and staff year after year after year. And really, when you boil it all down, that's what this whole thing is about. It's not just about preparing students for a possible career down the road. It's about empowering them to be compassionate leaders and better friends right here, right now. It's about building a community where everyone feels a little more comfortable asking, hey, are you okay? And knowing what to do next.
I'll just say, the great thing about it too is that we can train, it's not just licensed staff, we can get trained. If you're a bus driver, you get trained as, you know, as in the youth mental health first aid as an adult. Today we were in a meeting at the district office and one of our support business personnel said, oh, I'm really interested in getting that training. So it's so exciting. We have some of our staff who are going to get trained this Friday on the Institute Day, others who are going to start doing some training on March 13th. Sorry, thank you. And others are we're looking for a summer date as well. So I know Ryan Gleason's been a great partner in this. He leads the Superintendent Advisory Committee on mental health, and he's been really excited about it, how drumming up support. So as well as the principals, huge shout out to Carrie and Jacqueline. They recruited the students, but also they followed up with the students to make sure permission slips got in and just helped holistically with getting this off the ground. And so Wednesday is our first day that we have our consultant coming to do training with our students.
I have a quick question. So I'm not understanding the line about this exceeds the $50,000 in grant funding. Is there, you said it's covered by the Kids Matter?
Yeah,
But
so
what is exceeding the $50,000?
just the additional programming and the facilitators, the training of the facilitators.
That costs extra from us at the district?
No, the grant has covered everything. Like, I'm amazed every time I'll meet with her and she'll say, oh, we have this too. Let's do this too. So they have kept adding onto it. And so it's costly because it's an internationally recognized accreditation that you get to have the staff get trained in youth mental health first aid so they can be facilitators, and teen mental health first aid so they can be facilitators. That runs about $2,000 to $3,000 per person. And so she added that in.
Okay. That was a question I had about like which staff could be eligible to be trained. So it's nice that it's across the board. It's not specific. But the students, is there a particular? Is that open to every student, whether they're freshman, sophomore, junior, senior, or is there someone that you look forward, or they?
So for this year, we reached out through the superintendent advisory committee to see if any students on there were interested, but both the principals have like advisory groups, and so they reached out to students in their advisory group. Our hope is that we can just embed this into health curriculum at the freshman center. Our health teachers are going to get some training this week, so they will have to come back and say how it works, because 6 hours when you're guaranteeing, that's a lot of time. And so they'll have to come back and we'll have to have discussions like, does it fit in with what they're already doing? Is it what they think appropriate, replaceable? Let's say they come back and they say, oh, we can't fit this all in, then we'll have to figure out like, how do we get students certified who would want the certification?
Thanks. I have a question for you, Laurie. So when we're looking at the Exploring Health Careers, I see that now you've added a 16-week course through JJC. I think that's amazing. Could you tell us just a little bit about that? Like how it works for scheduling? Is it through Wilco? What's going on?
Yeah. So again, this is an amazing opportunity that Nina, who's at Kids Matter, she said, hey, this is what we've done with another school. Would you like to do it? And I just reached out to our counterparts at JJC and said, hey, would you offer this? Great for us. It's an asynchronous online course, so students can do it at their own pace. I think one of the worries on the front end was the amount of time that the professor was suggesting it would take. But guess what? She came over here during a Compass and met with all 23 of our students, and it was just, you don't see that all the time, right? And so it was really sweet. She brought them all kinds of JJC swag, but at that time, I was able to touch base with our students to say like, hey, are you finding this overwhelmingly? And all of the students said no. And then we just sent out the survey because you said something about the field experiences, field trips they could get. We just sent out the survey to that group to see what they're interested in doing, and in partnering with Angela Adolph to really set up about like 6 field trips. Really only 3 will probably be off-site, and then 3 will be like guest speakers during probably Wednesday mornings, although we don't have all the logistics of that figured out.
Very cool. Thank you. It's exciting.
It's a great opportunity, so thank you. And I learned about how to do that video at the GMG conference.
Yeah, that's Notebook LM.
Yeah, that was pretty good. Yeah,
Great,
good.
thank you.
Very cool.
Thanks.
All right. Principal report.
We are missing Dr. Johnson because she is at home ill. You know, a number of people are dealing with illness. But we have the indomitable Dr. Green.
Good evening, and thank you for the opportunity to talk. Tonight was awesome. I got to recognize our student athletes and also, you know, our All-State Theater individual, which was amazing. And next month, we're going to do it again because we have a whole nother set of kids that we're going to bring up in honor for both academic and athletic achievement, which that's kind of the highlight of what we do here, is showcasing all the amazing things that our kids are doing. As Dr. McBride mentioned, over the last 2 weeks, we've had Wayfinder taking place at both campuses, which really is a great opportunity. The more that we do it, we've been doing this for several years at Central, the more we do it, the more doors that open, the trust that is built, and staff members are able to go in and see what everyone else is doing, which is phenomenal, because we encourage people to showcase, to learn, and to share. And it was awesome because we actually had a teacher come in and meet with and watch myself, JJ, and Lori do a planning meeting. And the teacher was really kind of like, wow, this was amazing to sit in and listen to the behind the scenes planning of some of our meetings. So really excited about those opportunities that we had during Wayfinder Week at both campuses. And then really excited about this Teacher Institute Day that's coming up this Friday. You know, the boys mentioned about how they're excited for this 4-day weekend. The teachers are excited Friday to do PD in a variety of different ways. Some are doing online PD, some are going to other schools and organizations. So we're really excited about that. And then as mentioned, next Wednesday, we're going to kick off our first session with teen mental health, first aid training. Really excited. We have 30 students from each grade level that are going to be partaking in this event. And the kids are really excited. They actually had to do some pre-work that we've been, managing with them over the last couple of days. And really, as you saw in the video, it's going to be a great opportunity for our staff. So we're very excited for PD. And then, yes, James, everyone is also very excited to have Monday as a school holiday. So thank you for your time. Any questions?
No,
All right,
thank
thank you.
Thank you. All right, facility report. I believe we all have a paper copy of it as well in our folders with the pictures.
Yeah, any questions that we can answer? Facilities never sleeps, as so many people in this room know, but Brian Ammer and his staff getting at it, and if you can believe. I know you don't believe it when Brian Ammer writes that we're getting ready for spring sports, because there's first winter and second winter here in Northern Illinois. Any questions we can answer?
No, I just appreciate the pictures.
Mhm.
And
I always appreciate the pictures.
Yeah, and the description of some of the things, so it's helpful. So thank you.
Okay.
All right, so we have our consent agenda items. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda items 2 through 7?
I don't know, when do I go into this?
After we get a first
After
and
I-
second.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Do I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Okay, motion by Ms. Hayes. Second. By Ms. Garrettson. Okay.
All right, I'd just like to make a motion to have number 6 from the consent agenda item removed for separate vote.
Okay. Okay, so that
And
amend,
you don't necessarily, Ms. Can even need to motion it. You can request it,
I can
and it's
request
pulled
it.
for a separate
Okay,
vote.
so, all right,
So this
just a
is,
request.
some board members haven't seen this before, but if there's ever a time when the board wants to vote independently, take one of these items, discuss it, vote independently for a particular reason, you can just simply, as a board member, say, can I have item number 6 voted on and discussed separately? And then we amend and vote, 1 through 5 and 7. So.
Okay. All right, so then I just request that item number 6 be removed from the consent agenda item and to be voted separately.
okay. So then do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda items 2, 3, 4, 5, and 7 as written?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second. Ms. Hayes, second by Ms. O'Halloran. Roll call?
O'Halloran,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Hayes,
Yes.
Garrettson,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Lopez Caniva,
Yes.
Shaw.
Yes. Okay, so item number 6 was held out. Do I have a motion to approve item number 6 on the agenda on its own?
I'll make that motion.
Okay. Motion by Ms. O'Halloran,
Second.
second by Ms. Garrettson. Roll call?
Johnson,
Yes.
O'Halloran,
Yes.
Lopez Caniva,
Abstain?
Wright,
Yes.
Hayes,
Yes.
Garrettson,
Yes.
Shaw.
Yes. All right. Do I have a motion to approve the facility master plan decision-making guide?
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Lopez Caneva,
Second.
second by Ms. Garrettson. Roll call. Oh, sorry, any questions? All right, roll call.
Lopez Caniva,
Yes.
Hayes,
Yes.
O'Halloran,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Garrison,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Shaw.
Yes. Do I have the motion to approve 4 social worker positions?
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Ms. O'Halloran,
Second.
second by Ms. Straight. Any questions? Roll call?
Wright,
Yes.
Garrison,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yeah.
Hayes,
Yes.
Lopez Caniva,
Yes.
O'Halloran,
Yes.
Shaw.
Yes. Do I have a motion to approve the graduation requirements? I'll make the motion. Motion by Ms. Hayes,
I'll second.
second by Ms. O'Halloran. Any questions? Roll call?
Johnson,
Yes.
O'Halloran,
Yes.
Lopez Caniva,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Hayes,
Yes.
Garrison,
Yes.
Shaw.
Yes. Do I have a motion to approve the resolution authorizing and directing Robin Schwartz to file an assessment appeal regarding PDV Midwest Refining's Lamont Refinery?
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Ms. Hayes,
Second.
second by Ms. Johnson. Any questions?
I have a question. You know, in the past, they have given us some perks. I guess, so is that still gonna happen, or are we gonna?
The last negotiation we did with them, those came out.
Okay.
And the reason why is that's something Dr. Cristofero's does. There's a different grant cycle, generally in late July, August, and also part of our Citgo Innovation Academy. That's completely separated out where we apply to Citgo basically philanthropy. It's a separate system.
Mhm.
And then the last time we negotiated, we just separated those two.
Okay.
So.
Any other questions? Okay, roll call.
Garrison,
Yes.
Lopez Caniva,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
O'Halloran,
Yes.
Hayes,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Shaw.
Yes. Do I have a motion to approve the WebEx calling solution?
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Ms. Lopez Caniva, I'll second it. Second by Ms. Hayes. Any questions? Okay, roll call?
Hayes,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yeah.
Garrison,
Yes.
Lopez Caniva,
Yes.
O'Halloran,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Shaw.
Yes. Do I have a motion to approve policy 6:310, reverting back to the February 2023 language?
So moved.
Motion by Ann Lopez Caniva. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Ms. O'Halloran. Any questions? Roll call.
O'Halloran,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Hayes,
Yes.
Garrison,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yeah.
Lopez Caniva,
Yes.
Shaw.
Yes. Policy updates.
Very exciting. Press 120, 58 policies. Let's get started. So we'll bring some first readings from Dr. Greenan and I tonight. Then Mrs. Croy, Dr. Huntington, Dr. Cristofero. Next month we'll have some first readings. We hope be comfortable approving these. So always want to open up the slide. Always happy to open up the policies themselves. The great organizational job done by Kathy Maxwell in coordinating all of this, pulling it all together, pointing out the changes, corralling administrators to review it. Pretty incredible. Just first and foremost, there are a group of policies that have no changes. They simply are updated for footnotes or cross-references in this packet. The board is not required when the footnotes and the legal references are just added to update them to new case law, so no need to do that. A couple things, some of these are very small changes, some of them are a little bit larger. For 2:120, all of you took training in para. What is the, how do we evaluate licensed staff? Since you took your training, there has been a change in that student growth is optional. Districts can include student growth, districts can choose to remove it. This language reflects that choice now in the Performance Educational Review Act. Committees, interestingly enough, We did not have this. This is the first time the committees have come up. So it did not list in our board policy that the board has a finance and facility committee and a curriculum committee. So we included that in this update. This board policy was up for review. This is a good time to review it for current practice. So that is the change in there. 5:10. This was some equal opportunity and minority recruiting. It updated the language, use of district-issued equipment to record such types of violence to the list of prohibited examples of workplace discrimination. Just anyone recording with district-issued equipment in any kind of discriminatory situation or employment situation. 5:90, this is abused and neglected reporting, child reporting, fairly important. So updated the term child pornography. The state law is child sex abuse material, clarifies what electronic and informational technology equipment is actually when we're talking about reporting. Things have changed quite a bit now that we can report not only by phone, but online. Staff development. This is an update, school code citations, just adding these citations, but they're substantial language. Were updated in policy, so this is newer professional development requirements for us, for staff, added through those two school code laws. 5:200, terms and conditions of employee dismissal. This was updated to require employees to be compensated for a reasonable time needed to express breast milk. This actually codifies that time in schools. 5:230, schedules an employment year. This policy was updated to the changes for nursing mothers in policy 5:200 by adding the language compensates for a reasonable time needed to express breast milk. That is to ensure that mothers who are nursing have that time and access without any kind of employee penalty, pay penalty, that kind of thing. Any questions? We will bring these back to you next month for approval, and then we'll have a whole new slide deck of other policies that are first reading. So thank you. Thanks for your attention.
All right. Announcements.
You've got it right there. Lots going on. Realtor breakfast again on Wednesday, 8 a.m. right here. Please feel free to show up early. We're excited about that. Number of different things. Please let us know if you're interested. We can glide path you there. I'm planning on going on March 4th. American Bandmasters, I believe it's Swiss Hotel. Generally, bands are only college bands that perform at this conference. We're one of the high school bands invited to perform, and that rarely occurs, usually only college bands. We are hosting, you might remember the success that Vocal Point had last year. We're actually hosting one of their local competitions that leads to the flight path of regional competition in Milwaukee, potential national competition in New York. So that is March 7th. Got the times there. I believe we might need to check that time, Ms. Maxwell. Actually, I believe that's 7 p.m., not 1 p.m. We'll double check it for you. But I think, I could be wrong. Maybe there's that many performers, so we'll let you know. But we'll double check. And then you see some concerts, Porter Pride, group interpretation, lots of fun things to go to and just see kids doing amazing things and their teachers and mentors doing it. Those are the announcements.
Okay. All right. Do I have a motion to adjourn tonight's meeting?
I'll second it.
Motion by Ms. Johnson, second by Ms. Hayes. All in favor?
Aye.
Adjourned at 8:52.
All right. Hey.